Welcome to the channel. My name's Evan and I buy stuff from thrift stores and garage sales and sell it on eBay for a profit. Now, if you're looking to do the same thing, whether it's for a side hustle or even a potential full-time income, videos like these are a great way to learn what's possible and what you should be picking up. Hope you enjoy it. So I sold some cassette tapes, and you can tell I've got my helper here doing some shipping with me today. But I sold some cassette tapes. These are new and sealed, and I don't pick up a lot of cassettes unless they have the word metal on them or this word. You know what that word is?
Epitaxial?
Epitaxial. Yeah, I have no idea what that means either, but these sell really well. Paid $1 for these four at a garage sale, and they sold for $35 in 2 days. So I found this t-shirt at a local thrift store for $1, and it's a promo t-shirt for World Driver Championships for, I believe, the Nintendo 64. Paid $1 for it, like I said, and it is stained, it's distressed, it's got holes in it. It's not in good condition, but it still sold for $46.36. I actually had it listed for $50, got that offer, decided to take it. Now there were other ones that were listed for like crazy amounts, but none had sold, so I didn't really know how much to list it for. Figured $50 was pretty fair, and I'll definitely take a $46 offer on it. Sold a gun holster, and incidentally, I feel like I'm going to be known as the guns and golf clubs guy here shortly. Keep finding a bunch of this gun stuff, and it sells really well. This is a Smith & Wesson gun holster. I picked it up at the Peaches to the Beaches garage sale. It had a belt and a couple other accessories with it, and I decided to sell everything separate because they were all different brands. Well, this Smith & Wesson gun holster, I don't really know much about it, but it does have a model number on the back that I could look up, and sure enough, this thing sold after a couple of weeks for $65. So these car radios can be really profitable. I just don't find them as much as I used to. I'm also very picky. I don't pick them up unless they're really clean. And this one is basically mint. Looks like somebody bought a car, pulled this out immediately and replaced it with another one. I paid $7.99 for it at Goodwill, and it sold in a day for $94.50. If you guys haven't seen the video where Kayla and I go ghost hunting, you should definitely go check it out. I'll link it in the description down at the bottom. But I sold a ghost scanner. I actually picked up 6 of these at a thrift store. Paid $250 for them. But they've been selling pretty good. This one sold, and it's actually used for $110. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but this is a pretty amazing sale. This is a clarinet. It's a Selmer Series 10 clarinet. And apparently that's pretty good. I'm not really sure. But I paid $25 for it from a thrift store. Brought it home, played with it a little bit. And I listed it for parts because I don't really know how to play a clarinet. But I actually sold it in 2 days for $350. Unfortunately, though, that was on an offer from an international buyer. They reached out, didn't realize how high the international fees were, and asked me to cancel it. So I did the whole cancel and relist thing and, waited about a week and didn't get any messages or offers on this thing at all. Well, come to find out, it never got relisted. So I relisted it then, and sure enough, it sold the next day for $350. So this is the most expensive golf club that I've ever sold. It's a Scotty Cameron Special Select Newport 2, and I actually picked it up from a garage sale. A guy was selling a golf bag. I asked him if he had any clubs to go with it, and just randomly he reaches behind a door in his garage and says, "Yeah, I have these 3. Asked him how much he wanted because I knew this one was really good. We ended up on $220. Well, I sold the other 2 for a net profit of $185. So that means I've got like $40 into this one, and it sold for $400 after like 2 days of it being listed. Definitely be on the lookout for Scotty Cameron, whether it's a club, a hat, a shirt, anything. Stuff sells for some really good money. Definitely be on the lookout for Scotty Cameron. Kind of an unexpected sale here and not something that I would typically pick up, but I bought a whole bag full of golf clubs from Goodwill, paid like $14 for the whole bag, and I really only wanted the iron set out of them, but it had this complete ladies black steel by Master Grip wood sets, the 1 through 7 wood, and I figured it was a complete set. I might as well list them. I almost redonated them because the comps did not look good. Really bad sell-through rate. But I decided to list them as a set, and sure enough, they sold after about 6 months for $67. So that's like almost free money. Sold this pink plastic owl, and it's actually a blow mold light cover, like lights that you would hang on your RV. Bought a string of them at Goodwill. Some of them were broken, so I decided to piece them out. Paid $2 for the whole strand. I've sold 3 or 4 now, and this one just sold for 15 bucks. Got some blank VHS tapes going out. These are Sony T120 VR blank VHS tapes. Paid $5 for this lot of 15. They're new and sealed. Got them at a local thrift store, and they sold for $62.50 on eBay after a couple of weeks. Picked up this Wilson Staff D300 4 hybrid at a garage sale last season, at the end of last season. The guy only wanted $5 for it, so I grabbed this one along with a bunch of other clubs, and this guy just sold for 52 bucks. I have no idea what Contech is, but I sold one of their hats. I actually picked this up in a bundle with a bunch of other hats, and it was vintage, made in the USA, really good condition, so I decided to list it. And it sold after about 6 months for $21.95. Kind of paid up for this guy. I actually got it from the Goodwill boutique, so I paid a little more than I wanted to. I think it was like $14, but it's in really good condition. It's a nice vintage Reebok Raiders pullover. Like I said, I paid the $14, and after about a month, it sold for 45 bucks. I sold a Breitling hat, or I think that's how you pronounce it. It might be Breitling. I'm not really sure. They make fancy watches. I'll never buy one, so I don't really have to know how to pronounce it. I just know their stuff sells really well. Paid $1 for it, and it sold for $20 on eBay. Sold a green Power Ranger, and this thing actually sold for some decent money, at least in my opinion. Paid $3 for it at Goodwill. It was new and sealed. My daughter and I were in there, decided to scan it with the eBay app. Sure enough, it had some really good comps. Paid the $3 for it, and it sold after a couple of weeks for $39.99 on eBay. Also, apparently it came from Ross originally for less than $8, so pretty good sale. Sold this Mitchell & Ness Chicago Bulls hat, and it's kind of an interesting one because the bottom here, it's not fabric, it's like vinyl plastic. Never seen one like that before, but I picked it up at a garage sale for $1. It does have some minor stains on the white here, but it still sold for $19.99. Picked up this Nike Team TCU jersey from a garage sale actually last weekend. Really good condition, paid only $5 for it, and it sold for $39.99. Bet you didn't know that you could sell a broken golf club on the internet. And actually, it's not broken. It's supposed to be like that. This is a Medicus training club. And the idea is that you're supposed to swing and not let it break like that. If you can do that, you've got the perfect golf swing. Well, I can tell you from experience that I don't have the perfect golf swing. I can do it, but I have to swing really, really slow. So I'm not that good of a golfer. But these things always sell really well.
Introducing the Medicus Driver with the patented dual hinge that can identify every flaw in your golf swing. Whether it's your takeaway, your backswing, your downswing, or your follow-through, if you make a mistake, the Medicus Driver will immediately break.
My stepdad picked this up from a garage sale in a bundle of clubs. Paid $50 for the whole bundle, and this thing sold for $69.99. It is a new one. I've never seen a new one before, still wrapped in plastic, so that definitely helped the value. Pretty cool hat here, and definitely a brand that you want to be on the lookout for. This is the game, obviously. Most of these hats with this logo actually have like a college on them, like it might say Clemson University, and it's the bar logo. Definitely something you want to be on the lookout for. But I picked this one up from Goodwill, and it is pretty heavily stained and kind of dingy. Paid $1 for it, and it sold after 6 months for $22.50. Almost any time I see a soccer jersey and it's cheap, I'm probably going to pick it up. Found this Portland Timbers jersey from 2015 at a garage sale. Paid $2 for it. And that actually sold within a week for $28. Sold some hooks. These are Rubbermaid Fast Track like garage hooks, and they were actually mounted on the track at a little thrift store that I go to. They were just sitting outside. I looked them up. The track wasn't really worth selling, but the hooks were. Paid $5 for 5 hooks, and they sold for $37 plus shipping after a couple of weeks. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I always buy soccer jerseys if they're a well-known brand name, like Adidas, Nike, New Balance, that kind of thing. Found this Orlando City jersey at a local thrift store, paid $3 for it, and it sold for $26.50 on eBay. Harley Davidson t-shirt, I can't resist picking them up. They might take a while to sell, but they always sell. I actually found this one in West Virginia when I was up there with my family. Paid $3 for it, I think, and it finally sold for $18. Got a Mickey Mouse shirt going out. It's not vintage or anything. It's actually got a modern printed on tag, but I saw it at Goodwill. T-shirts there are only $1.50. I thought it was neat. Figured somebody else might too. finally sold after about 6 months for $18.99. Found these at a garage sale this weekend actually. They are Ford anti-theft wheel locks. Found them at a church sale. Knew they would sell pretty good, and it was a church sale, so they were cheap, like $2. Sure enough, they sold in a day for $29. Kind of random, but I was at Goodwill like 3 months ago, and they had just some like 4 6-irons sitting in a bin, and it was all different brands. So I picked them all up for $2 a piece. Found this TaylorMade R7 there, and it finally sold for $27.